Good morning. Are you so excited to be here? It's warmer in here than it is out there. It's very cold. Welcome parents, family, friends, and TBK8 Tigers to our STEM Student of the Month Award ceremony for the month of January. We are so happy and excited that you all could join us today as we celebrate our Tigers who have demonstrated the STEM trait of being responsible. This year, our theme as a school is leading everyone in growth opportunities. The acronym for which is LEGO. Because we believe that it takes everyone in the school community to learn and grow, we have utilized this theme in conjunction with our STEM traits. Each trait is represented by a LEGO figurine who exemplifies the STEM trait. January's STEM trait of being responsible is represented on the student certificates by a LEGO figurine representing entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur is someone who organizes, owns, and operates a business. It takes a lot of responsibility to ensure that a business has all things needed to be successful, from managing employees to maintaining the financial needs of the business. The entrepreneur holds the greatest responsibility in the business. This is why entrepreneurship is represented on student certificates this month. Today, we honor all of our Tigers who have demonstrated their problem-solving skills at TBK8. Thank you all for being the models of creative thinking and looking for the unique approach to solve every problem. I'd like to welcome Miss Wonderly to the stage to receive the awards.
Good morning, everyone. Let me tell you a little bit about how you get up on stage and where you can see this after the fact. So you have two tags. You have one on your chair, and that was taped, and then you have one that I see some of you holding. So when your grade level is called, you're going to stand up and look to Miss Kay. She's going to help you get up on the stage. You come with your name tag. You come hand me your name tag because your teachers have written some great things about you, and I want to make sure I read the right one for all of you. So you hand me your name tag. I'm going to read what your teacher said about you. You're going to shake Miss Tumanilla's hand, and she has something for you. You're going to shake Miss Craig Clark's hand, and she has something for you. And then you're going to go down the other side of the stage. Oh, sorry, back up, rewind. You're going to stop for a minute, because we do pictures at the end of each grade level, so I'll call parents, family, and friends to come closer for a picture. And then after everyone has their pictures, they go down the opposite side of the stage, and Ms. Knowles and Ms. Bell will help you get back to your seat. And then, at the very end, very, very, very end, is when we have a cupcake for each one of the award winners. Okay, but we gotta get through the whole thing first, because I want you to hear all these great things that your teachers have said. So first we're going to start with pre-K. So if my pre-K friends would come on up. Okay, starting us off. Starting us is Mason. Mason is a rule follower. He likes to make sure that all the students in our classroom follow the rules too. He is very responsible throughout the day with putting classroom materials away and making sure they go back in the correct location. He loves to put his lunchbox away after lunchtime. We are so proud of the progress he has made thus far and look forward to his future achievements. All right, now we have Maddie. Maddie is a sweet little girl who enjoys coming to school each day. She's a valued member of our school family and loves to help the younger students in our class. She likes to take responsibility in the classroom by placing her materials in her cubby each day and returning classroom materials to their appropriate locations. We are so proud of the progress Maddie has made in our class. And here is Zoe. Zoe arrives to school each morning with a smile on her face as she greets her friends. She works well both independently and cooperatively, always lending a helping hand. Way to go. Naeem is a very responsible student and sets an example in our classroom. He independently follows all school and classroom rules and constantly reminds his friends to do the same. And these are our pre-K students of the month. All right, parents, family, and friends, you can come closer at this time for a picture. And also, just so that you know, there is an opportunity to share with those friends and family that are far away. Mr. Weaver, our technology specialist, who's standing on the table, he is videotaping, and we have a YouTube channel. You can also find it on Twitter. Every month we record the STEM Student of the Month so that you can share it out with those that you want to. All right, kindergarten, it is your turn. If you are a kindergarten student, come up on stage with Miss Kay. All right, starting us off in kindergarten, we have Emma. Emma is very quick to accept responsibilities in the classroom. She comes forward each time she sees there's a need and does her work quickly and quietly. She is a great role model in our class and a wonderful helper. This is Ava. Ava is always responsible in school. She comes to class on time and is always prepared to follow directions, participate, and learn new things. She encourages her peers by having a positive attitude and working diligently. She is a role model and we are very proud of her. Sanvi is our STEM Student of the Month for being responsible. She is a role model to her other classmates and is an honest person. She takes care of her belongings and shows independence in her work. We can trust her to make the right decisions and rely on her to do what is right. Shane is a wonderful example of a responsible student because we can always count on him to remember important things. He reminds the teacher to change class jobs and give out tiger stripes. One time we needed a toy car for a science experiment and Shane took it upon himself to bring one from home the next day. We're so thankful to have him in our class. This is Charlotte, and she is such a hard worker and dedicated student. We can always count on her to be a helper and go above and beyond in everything that she does. Jada's classmates recognize that Jada is responsible in the computer lab, on the playground, and in the classroom. She pushes in chairs, helps with cleaning, and always packs up her backpack quickly. Also, she always turns in her reading logs and her homework like a responsible scholar. Camden shows responsibility daily. He is dependable and makes good choices. He also takes accountability for his actions. He takes care of his belongings as well as classroom supplies. This student, Nicole, shows responsibility by coming in every morning and doing her morning routine without the teacher's help, and she completes everything in a timely fashion. And these are our kindergarten students of the month. Kindergarten family and friends, feel free to come closer for a picture at this time. And first grade, will you stand Look to Miss Kay. She's going to help you get up on stage. Our first graders, and first up we have Noah. Noah is always responsible and easy to trust. He helps his friends and teachers whenever they need it. We are so proud of you, Noah. This is Abigail. She is an amazing TBK and Tiger in every way. She is a joy to teach and a mentor to her peers. She shows the STEM character trait of responsibility through always turning in projects, homework on time, as well as following all the Tiger expectations. Emma is a very responsible student. She takes ownership of her work and actions and does what is expected of her in class and around school. Zachariah gets things done independently. He is reliable and hardworking. He goes above and beyond in everything he does. This is Luke. Luke is a very responsible student. He is always prepared for class and each activity that we do. He is a leader in the classroom and is a great example for others to how to follow routine and procedures. This is Evelyn. Evelyn is a sweet and very responsible student. She always has everything she needs and does what she is expected to do. Keep up the good work, Evelyn. Chloe is such a hard worker who is honest and compassionate. She takes charge and is a great leader when working independently or in a group. Farah is so very helpful. She has become our classroom expert in technology. There are times when a student needs help, and without being asked, she's the first one to get up and help them. She's able to be the class expert without having her classwork suffer. She always has her work ready to turn in and is a wonderful example of what being responsible is. Maya shows responsibility every day. She always knows her classroom job. She cares about herself and others, and she is very trustworthy. Every Friday, Maya takes the elevator with another classmate to go to art. She does what is right and reports if she sees something that questions her. Suhana demonstrates responsibility daily. She keeps her area neat and tidy and always finishes her work and stays on task. She is very responsible with her art and classroom supplies, and she is very organized. She takes the elevator with a partner to go to specials and has never had any problems. These good choices demonstrate that she is a responsible student. And these are our first grade students in the month. First grade parents, family, and friends, if you want to come closer for a picture, you may do so at this time. And second grade, get ready to come up on stage. Stand up and look to Miss Kay. She's going to help you get up on stage. Second grade. Here come our second graders. Starting us off, we have Brianna. Brianna always is doing what she is supposed to. She turns in her work on time, stays on task, and is always following the rules. She is a reliable student and is always willing to help her peers. We are very lucky to have her in class. Zoe is a responsible, bright student who can always be counted on to make the right choice and is always willing to help her classmates. Aaliyah is the best example of someone who is responsible. She knows what's expected of her and never gives excuses. We can always count on her to do the right thing. She is a great addition to our class family. Sonika is always a responsible role model for our class. She does what she needs to do without being asked and takes her job as a student very seriously. She is a good friend to all and brightens all of our days. That's why she confused me. She goes by Ella. Ella is a wonderful addition to our classroom. I know that as a teacher, we can rely on Ella to follow directions the first time, look out for others she feels are being mistreated, and take communication to and from the office and to other second grade teachers. She speaks politely with school staff and sets a wonderful example to her classmates without ever being bossy or unkind. She is respectful, responsible, and willing to learn. This is Ashley. Ashley is very deserving of this award. She shows responsibility in the way she takes care of her work, her friends, and school. She always wants to make the best decisions possible. We are proud to nominate Jasmine as the January STEM Student of the Month for demonstrating exceptional responsibility. We can always count on Jasmine to follow through on assignments by their due date and follow directions and procedures consistently. It is impressive to see this level of responsibility at such a young age. This is a very valuable skill to possess in life and will serve her well in the future. An is a very respectful and responsible student within our classroom community. She is a natural leader and in class has earned the respect of her peers because she is always on task and willing to go beyond the expectations set out before her. We can always depend on her when needing assistance, such as a table captain or as a project manager during a group research project. Frankie demonstrates responsibility by showing great effort to keep his materials and class work organized. He reliably completes homework assignments and sets a good example of responsibility by performing his classroom jobs and following our independent classroom procedure expectations without needing to be reminded. Vinica is a helpful and responsible student. She takes pride in using equipment properly and making sure her area is always cleaned up correctly. Fallon is always demonstrating responsibility in the classroom at specials in the cafeteria. I can depend on Fallon to always do the right thing, be honest, and to help encourage others. This also makes her the perfect leader in our classroom. Sophia has been chosen by her peers for the STEM Student of the Month of Responsibility. She shows academic integrity and honesty. She makes smart choices and always helps her friends and teachers. She comes to class every day with a big smile and cat ears and is always excited to learn. Sophia is a leader in our classroom and motivates her peers to be successful. And these are our second grade Students of the Month. Second graders, feel free to come closer for a picture. And third grade, if you would stand, look to Miss Kay. She's going to help you get up on stage. Starting third grade, we have Bryn. Bryn has always demonstrated the trait of responsibility and is an asset as a wonderful teacher's helper in class. She is organized and always proactive with her work. Naya is such a joy to have in class. She comes to school ready each day. She always has her materials ready and even helps out a fellow classmate who's new to our school and country. We can always count on her to be a responsible student, a great leader, and an example for her classmates in our third grade classroom. Isabel exemplifies the January STEM trait responsibility. She is a student that our entire class can count on to execute projects, errands, and duties the correct way. We never have to worry about her forgetting something, which can be extremely helpful day to day. If something needs to be completed, we can count on her to fulfill the task with no worries. She is responsible in every way and deserves this honor for the month of January. Peyton embodies responsibility. We can always count on her to make the right choices and be a role model for her classmates. Taylor is a role model for responsibility in the music room. She always completes her work in a timely manner and does what is asked of her. She also shows responsibility as a member of the Tiger Tones Ensemble. She is usually the first one to rehearsal in the morning and begins setting up the room right away without any reminders. Keep up the good work. Anissa is a wonderful student to have in class. She is a super hard worker. She is very responsible because she gets all of her work completed on time. She loves a challenge and always gets the job finished. She is often a team leader because she is so responsible and can work well with others. Lindsay was an easy choice for STEM Student of the Month for responsibility. She is the first one in class and immediately follows the morning procedures. We chose her as the morning helper because she's responsible and dependable. She helps with loading the mailboxes and picks up the computers daily. She is the teacher's right-hand girl, which we think she's awesome. Blaze is truly a responsible student. He can always be counted on to be well prepared and have all classwork and homework complete. Blaze takes responsibility for his actions by having exemplary behavior. He sets a wonderful example for the rest of the class. Brandon is the epitome of responsible in every aspect of his TVK8 day. He is an avid reader, a classroom leader, and a teacher's helper who can be trusted. Whether he's escorting a student to the front office, to the clinic, or taking down the attendance, he gets the job done in minimal time and is back at work in the classroom with his group hardly noticing the interruption. Hafsa can be trusted in all contexts to do the right thing. She completes her classwork to the best of her ability. She values and shows compassion toward those that surround her, and she communicates openly and respectfully with adults without exception. Eva is a wonderful example of a responsible student. She is always on task with her schoolwork and is a leader inside and out of the classroom. She always helps her peers if they are in need. Responsibility and accountability are qualities that she strives for every day. Arian is receiving the award for being responsible because he consistently completes classwork, homework, projects, daily routines, when expected with few to no reminders. He conducts himself in a desirable manner in and out of the classroom. He's often selected to run errands and perform multi-step duties because he is reliable, trustworthy, adheres to school rules, and makes wise decisions. And these are our third grade students of the month. Third grade family and friends, you can come closer for a picture at this time. And fourth grade, if you would stand and look to Miss Kay, she'll help you get up on stage. to 4th grade. This is Amalia, and she is an extremely hard worker. She takes ownership of her education as an active learner. She seeks out support when needed and offers support to those in need. She has a responsible work ethic, and that is admirable. Gianna is our responsible student of the month because she always has what she needs and never misplaces important work or information. She is always willing to help remind other students what worksheet or note pages look like so they can keep track as well. Reagan, right away it was clear that this young lady has goals and drive. Reagan leads the way with her great example. Good job, Reagan. Keep up the good work. Irene consistently shows the character trait responsibility by taking an active role in her learning and being accountable for her academic success. She demonstrates academic integrity and honesty, participates in class, and completes the assigned work in a timely manner with attention to the quality of her work. She makes the right choices, considers how her actions will affect people, and shows compassion, respect, and courage. Jeremy is always on task and ready to set an example for his classmates. As a member of Bengals Singers, he serves as the 4th grade section leader and is tasked with conducting attendance at the beginning of every rehearsal. We are very proud of his work this year. We're excited to see him grow as a leader among his peers. Liana handles herself responsibly in the classroom. She is always doing exactly what her teachers ask her to do. She is a good friend and looks out for others. While looking out for others, she will make sure her peers are doing the right thing. She shows kindness and grace to her peers and makes a great leader for her classmates. Mahek is our class choice for responsible STEM student because she is always doing her best and is honest. She sets goals and works hard to achieve those goals, both in and out of class. She takes ownership of her choices and actions and works very hard. She is a role model in our class. The class can always count on Abby to do the right thing. She is dependable, trustworthy, and an amazing student who is always ready to learn. She is an excellent leader. Marley is the essence of responsible. She is known throughout the class to be one of the others can count on and make sure things are done and done correctly. Students also know that she will always do her best to do what is asked of her to the best of her ability. In art class, we never have to question whether Bryn would be capable of helping the teacher out. She gets her work done, follows directions all the time, and is responsible with all things in the art room. She is very trustworthy, and that is why she is a STEM Student of the Month for responsibility. And these are our 4th grade Students of the Month. Parents, family, and friends, you can come closer for a picture. And 5th grade, if you would stand and look to Ms. Kay, she's going to point you in the right direction. Moving on to 5th grade, we have Jennifer starting us out. She shows continuous responsibility by keeping up with her assignments, pitching in when she notices something needs to be taken care of within the classroom, and even extends her trait of responsibility to others as she enjoys lending a helping hand whenever she sees another student in need. Ryan is always doing what he is supposed to be and takes responsibility for his actions. He is very trustworthy and a joy to have in class. Logie is an example of the model students. She is always prepared for class, prepared to learn, and prepared to model exemplary behavior. We are so proud of you. Ruby displays responsibility with any assignment given in class, daily expectations, and with the ability to inspire others to be responsible as well. Angelina was nominated by her classmates for the STEM Student of the Month Award for responsibility. They shared that she is a great helper in groups where there is a struggle. She always tries to help fellow classmates on a task in class, and she always brings the things she needs for class. She is really good at remembering her classroom job and reminding others of theirs. We are so lucky to have a wonderfully responsible student like her in our class. Isabella is always on task in doing her work. She puts first things first and often begins with the end in mind. Isabella always gets the job done right and is super organized. We are so proud of Isabella and all of her hard work. Marley deserves our STEM Student of the Month Award for being responsible because we can always count on her to put forth her best effort in everything she does. She understands the importance of being a team player and leads by example when participating in physical education class. She helps her fellow peers and does so with a positive attitude and a smile on her face. Yashasvi's classmates all agree that she is most deserving of this award. They admire her organizational skills and how diligently she works to complete her assignments on time. One classmate pointed out that she often steps in when she sees someone doing something wrong to remind them of making good choices. Sophie shows great responsibility in class every day. She not only shows focus, but also great interest in completing her assignments in the given time. She is always ready for the next task and is prepared with all her materials. She is a shining example of responsibility, especially when it comes to following classroom rules and procedures. Victor has made huge improvements since the beginning of the year in all areas. He has always been a really intelligent young man who can excel in academics. He has risen to the top and become such a responsible, reliable student. He makes sure to have what he needs to complete what he is supposed to, and he turns in his work on time. Brianna was chosen by her classmates this month. She is very responsible. Her desk is orderly. She completes tasks without reminders and always turns in homework and classwork on time. One classmate said that whenever we get an assignment, she works on it straight away. Like when we got our planets project, she came back the next day and said she already completed 2 of the tasks. When I asked myself which one of my students are responsible, Avery came right to mind. She is always making sure her art projects are getting done, and if even she's absent, she's responsible to make sure the work she missed gets completed. Avery, I love that I get to teach you art this year and that you are always helpful and kind toward your fellow classmates. You are there to lend a helping hand and you take responsibility for your table to make sure everyone is getting what they need. And these are our 5th grade Students of the Month. All right, 5th grade parents, family, and friends, you can come closer for a picture at this time. And 6th grade, if you would stand and look to Miss Kay. Even though I know many of you, please take your name tag with you. And on to our middle schoolers. Starting us off in 6th grade is Jennifer. Jennifer is nominated for January STEM Student of the Month because she is extremely responsible. She's always prepared for class. She always has her supplies and turns in all assignments on time. She is polite and respectful as well. She's a fine model of a responsible middle school student. Emily meets all of her challenges head on and always makes sure that she does everything she needs to do so that she stays on track and meets or exceeds her educational goals. As a responsible student, Jacqueline takes an active role in her learning. She always demonstrates academic integrity and honesty. Because of this great quality, she completes her assigned work in a timely manner with attention to quality of work. Scarlett is always responsible in her learning. She advocates for herself and is always reminding other students to also be responsible. She is a very trustworthy student and is always helpful to her teachers. Quinn is known as a responsible student among both his teachers and peers. He is very conscientious about his schoolwork, always prepared for class, and he works hard to ensure he is following directions at all times. Quinn is definitely an awesome role model for others. Bria is a very responsible student, always prepared for class and conscientious about her work. She is always willing to be helpful to me and other students. Aaliyah shows responsibility in words and action. She comes to school with her iPad charged and is ready to learn. She is accountable for her actions and encourages others to take accountability. Jackson, when given the opportunity, can act independently and appropriate about making decisions without any adult advice. Anthony took great responsibility when preparing for the midterm exam. He was attentive each day we reviewed, then studied to make sure he knew his material. He received a perfect score on his exam. And these are our 6th grade students of the month. Sixth grade, we have a request.
Do you notice how the little kids are so excited?
So 6th grade, it's okay to smile. And parents, it's okay to come closer. I'm giving you permission, Miss Wonderly says. So I have to just brag for a minute. We don't usually do this, but I came across a news story with this young man. This is Quinn. He's one of our 6th graders, and he was just recognized. Bay News 9 and ABC News ran a story about him because this young man in 6th grade took a history course and took the test, a college history course, took the test and passed it with flying colors. So Mr. Clark says he's like a permanent STEM student of the month. All right, here comes 7th grade. And this is Stella. We're almost done. Stella is a very responsible student here at TVK8. In addition to always being prepared for class, she constantly makes certain that she is keeping up with her classwork and looking ahead to see what's next. She encourages those around her to take responsibility in their actions and never loses sight of her end goals. When it's the fourth quarter and you find yourself down by 10 with the ball, it's a young man like Ben that you turn to for hope. Ben has great walking around sense. He can always be on point and you can count on him in a pinch. Annie is in 2 music classes this year. She's always ready to rehearse and has her materials ready to go. She leads her section in chorus and works bell to bell in piano class. Quite the rock star. Kayla's attention to her responsibilities help her achieve success across all subjects. She's committed to completing her coursework on time and to the best of her ability. Richie is a student who shows dedication by always being prepared for class on time and participating actively in everything he does. Kevin is very responsible in our classroom. He will do his work independently and then encourage his fellow students to do the same. Kevin easily follows the classroom rules with a smile on his face. He likes to make his teachers laugh and is a joy to have in the classroom. Ina is one of the most responsible students I teach. She is quick to help when asked and is always kind and respectful. She remembers the smallest details and reminds me when needed. She takes responsibility for her education and continues to strive to do her very best. Gabby is a remarkable young lady in every way. She is very responsible for her academics, her grades, and her work. Always doing her best, she's not afraid to embrace every challenge and do what needs to be done. Lauren has been a consistently responsible force in my class since the beginning of the year. She volunteers for tasks and carries them out without fail. I rely on her because she is so responsible. Olivia is an extremely responsible student assistant. Even at the end of the day, Mr. McGregor can count on her to follow procedures and keep the library running in tip-top shape. Noor is always on time to class and does exactly what she should be doing during class time. She also encourages her peers to do the right thing and to participate in activities during class. Sophie always makes sure she has her work in order. It doesn't matter if she's working by herself or with a team. She always makes sure things are done on time. Even if it means she has to pick up extra slack, she gets the job done. Brendan is a brilliant student, very smart, organized, and responsible. He always does his best, and that's why his job in Spanish class is always phenomenal. And these are our 7th grade students as well. All right, 7th grade parents, family, and friends, I know you're out there. It's okay to come closer for a picture at this time. And 8th grade, if you would stand and get ready to come up on stage. Here come the 8th graders. Starting us off, we have Max. They try to run across the stage. They don't want to slow down and be recognized. Max has proven to be an individual who always tries to do the best that he can. Even when an assignment will not impact his grade, he makes sure that it's submitted. He has been responsible for conducting our bell work in class and evaluating students' responses without the teacher's help. This is Aiden. He comes to school and works quietly, consistently, and diligently. He does not take enormous efforts to stand out, but that is what does make him stand out. He is a trustworthy and responsible young man. I had the privilege to watch Andy grow from 4th grade on to 8th grade, and one thing has remained constant: her unfaltering ability to be responsible. I am lucky enough to have her as my student assistant this year, which has been a tremendous help. She runs copies, laminates, cuts, runs various errands, as well as adds to my lessons from time to time. I can always depend on her to be my right hand, and I'm so thankful for her. Justice is a wonderfully dependable student, always focused on doing his best. He's reliable and honest. He always conducts himself in a positive manner, setting an example for all students. Lauren always comes to class ready to learn. She participates in every activity and is a joy to have in class. Kirsten is a well-behaved and well-rounded student. She is a student that every teacher wishes they had. She is trustworthy and truthful in all that she does. She will complete any task given to her without having to check up and make sure she's working. She is a great example of a responsible student. Yana is always responsible when it comes to meeting deadlines and asking clarifying questions about due dates and activities via the Remind app, Edsby, and as well as in person. Elena consistently demonstrates the trait of responsibility. She doesn't miss assignments. If she's absent, she turns in her work on time and makes sure that she completes all of her tasks. She is a model student and has proven to be reliable and accountable for her actions every day. Tyler has demonstrated a commitment to responsibility in all that he works on and all the actions that he does, no matter if it is ensuring that all his assignments are completed in a timely manner or making sure that any lab or activity is done safely and responsibly. We can rest assured that Tyler will act to the utmost standards and be a role model for his fellow classmates. Genesis consistently has an organized notebook and understanding of what is expected in class every day. Her responsibility also helps those around her by keeping them on track as well. Teresa is probably one of the most responsible students I've ever had. She is always in her seat, ready to work when the bell rings, and she is always the first person to volunteer to help other students in need. She exemplifies determination and demonstrates real responsibility through the quality of her work. And these are our 8th grade students in the month. Eighth grade parents, family, and friends. Like I said before, I know you're out there. Come closer for a picture at this time. And I'm going to call Miss Greg Clark back to the microphone. There's just a few more awards.
Thank you, Mrs. Wonderly. Okay, so we have the privilege to also not only nominate our students, but our staff as well. So we are going to start with our primary teacher, Mrs. Donatelli. Mrs. Donatelli is one of the most responsible teachers here at TVKA. When given a task, we can always count on Mrs. Donatelli to have things organized and turned in a timely manner. Because she is such a responsible teacher, her classroom runs smoothly and efficiently. Her students benefit from her responsible ways, and she acts as an amazing role model of responsibility in and out of the classroom. Thank you, Mrs. Donatelli, for being such a responsible team player. Mrs. Burgos. Mrs. Burgos is the type of teacher we can count on to have all of her ducks in a row. Whether it is preparing for lessons or gathering data, Ms. Burgos is reliable and dependable. She uses data to adjust instruction for her students and is always on time with deadlines. We know we can always count on her. Thank you, Ms. Burgos. In middle school, we have Mrs. Reed. Mrs. Reed has been a force to be reckoned with since arriving at TVK this year. Through her responsible nature, she has built relationships with students, allowing her to figure out what they need academically and working with their parents to ensure their needs are being met at school and home. She follows through with tasks, is dependable, and loyal to the profession. Thank you, Ms. Reed, for being a great example of responsibility. With our leadership team, we have Mrs. Stanfield Griffin. Come on. She hates being put on the spot. Mrs. Stanfield Griffin has been a great example of responsibility at TVK8. As the only middle school assistant principal, Ms. Stanfield Griffin has not only performed her duties in an effortless manner, but also those of a second AP. She is diligent, timely, and reliable. Ms. Stanfield Griffin, we thank you for everything you do to make TVK run smoothly and efficiently. Our non-instructional employee is our nurse, Ms. Lynn. Nurse Lynn is a valuable asset to TVK8. Because of her responsible nature, we can always count on Nurse Lynn to be prepared and ready with ice, a Band-Aid, or other supplies, which any child or adult is in need. She is responsible in handling sensitive situations and is always looking for ways to be helpful. Thank you for being such a responsible part of our TVK8 team.